Hello, and welcome back to Hoy 4, Old World Blues, almost called it across your oar randomly, Unity of Austin, under Keats. Today we are going to be seeing the failure of the Union speech. Citizens of Austin, of the Unity's friendly township abroad, the Texas Economic Union is dead, and of other cities and nations across time and space, I come before you today with a grievance. The matter of Texas nationalism is no small issue, and in recent years it has been on the rise in Texas as a whole, and with good reason. By this point, the majority of those in central and southern Texas feel a form of kinship with one another. Their cultures are often the same. There's a great feeling that the citizens of Texas should not just move towards friendship and alliance, but towards unity and uniformity. This is a great and noble idea, at least in concept. The idea has been floated and adopted in the Texas Economic Union that we should move forward together towards a provincial republic, whose goal would be to cover the span of Texas under one government. Since we are one people, this would have its upsides, of course. A central tax system would mean the whole of Texas can benefit from a unified federal republic, and funds would more easily sent to the corners of the state that need them most. A central transportation network could connect McAllen to Lubbock, to Loss, to Shreveport without issue. A single united Texas army would be far more effective, and would be able to project Texan power further than ever before, than the untamed waste surrounded us. These ideas have flourished and grown in popularity everywhere across Texas, except in Austin. There is an expression in the wasteland, Old World Blues. Title drop. It speaks to those whose mindsets are reviving the glories of the past, to the point that the unity of the present is looked upon with disappointment. Across Texas, there are those who want to bring back that which we lost in the Great War. This is not a bad thing. I place no blame in those who seek it. But the future republic, often portrayed in stories and talk shows, always lacks one key ingredient. It fails to mention super mutants. It would be a lie to say modern Texas would be the same without super mutants. From the first T Scouts to the most recent voluntary conversions, super mutants are citizens of Texas as much as any other human or ghoul. We serve as soldiers, builders, scientists, explorers, traders, and every other occupation filled by our smooth-skinned cousins. We are friends and family with every other member of the greater Texas community. No, we aren't. We are actually enemies to, all of them at the moment. And we exist across the state in all forms. We have no quarrel with our good friends in the Texas Economic Union. We had no good quarrels, when they existed. And we have no quarrel with anyone else in Texas. You sure about that? To the best of our ability, we are civilized and productive members of a society, no different than ourselves, except in ability and in appearance. But are we the same? No. There is a different attitude that you will not find in Austin. It is an attitude of the wandering trader, of the convoy escort, and of the family man. It is the attitude of the politician, the economist, and the general. It is the view that super mutants such as us merely act as civilized because it suits our interest, and that given different circumstances, we would be just as prone to turn feral as 200-year-old ghoul. This view is one that sits just beneath the surface of the Texas Economic Union. That doesn't exist, but is a view. Man, this event would make way more sense if they still existed. It really would. That radiates itself across every human in Texas. It is a view perpetuated by those politicians who would seek to undermine our unity by painting us as mental children, and that without humans to guide and inspire us, we would not have achieved the civility we have today. For as long as the attitude exists, we in Austin have come to the realization that our fate should not be so intertwined with that of the Texas Economic Union. We are the Texas Economic Union. There's no one else in it. The attitude of our unity is one that stands apart from the attitudes of secret hate or pity that I have previously mentioned. Ours is an attitude of mutual respect and of simple necessity. It would be foolish to deny our mutants cannot act uncivil, but the same could be said of dishonest humans and of feral ghouls. Men are often molded by situations they find themselves in, And the same applies to super mutants. We come to Texas as warriors because this was the natural situation facing our kind. We changed because we saw that change was possible. And we evolved with the teachings of our first master so that we could achieve a greater unity with those around us, be they super mutant or otherwise. In this manner, our unity exist is one that has reckoned with the issue of the multiracial society, and we have mostly overcome its difficulties. Our friends and family in the Texas Economic Union, however, have not often done so. Where here the issue of mutants and humans living in harmony has been addressed and solved, in most cities north of the Broxos, there remains a general hope that the issue will sort itself out, because nobody has taken the time to address it as a whole. While this cultural divide between us is focused on one specific issue, it is the most pressing issue facing the Texas Economic Union. And until it just makes me laugh every time. It's like, no, they don't exist, / we are the only member of it. Like, they don't exist, and we're the only member of the Texas Economic Union. And until evidence that it has been addressed can be seen as the smiles of the average human when they see mutant for being no different in spirit and soul than that of another human, then we may yet call ourselves brothers and kin. But until then, the fate of unity will remain fundamentally opposed to the Texan nationalism that rises everywhere in Texas. It is, of course, our great hope that over a longer span of time, our people may grow more compatible with each other, and that may someday be the case. But so long as the politician Lone Star and the bartender in Dallas see mutants more as a threat to their establishment than as another customer to be served, the unity of Austin must seek its own path forward to a brighter tomorrow, apart from the Economic Union. Thank you for your time. Woo, we leave the Texas Economic Union, which actually just means they don't exist. The Texas Economic Union's gone. There is no Texas Economic Union. I'm gonna say let's start consolidating, Southern Texas, then. Although we haven't yet made up our minds on the issue of Provisional Republic of Texas, there's some other issues brewing in our backyard. While we debate at home, specifically Texan nationalism has been on the rise in all members of the Texas Economic Union for some time now, and even our super mutant population got in the unification fever. However, there's a few roadblocks before we can proceed. The Texas Economic Union doesn't exist, okay? You got that? No? Well, they don't? Sorry? They really don't exist. Sorry about it, but it's just the truth. The full truth and only the truth. What do I need? Okay, I just need more infantry. Got it. Okay. Well, that'll be filled out soon, so that's fine. Yeah, for now, I'll just have that exited. Alright. Well, I really need them to accept working with me. Like, I really need them to. Or I don't know what to do. Because I've already shown I can't win a war against all these guys. I can't. So please, the Republic of Rio Grande is a Mexican nation, first and foremost. They may have origins with the United States military, but a short walk down the streets of Gloria would put any ideas of American culture to rest. Despite this, they maintain their strange claim on Texas land, saying it is a core part of the Republic. We need that territory on an ongoing quest to unify Texas. However, we can buy it from them at a steep price. If they're not selling, however, there may be a rather foolish war. Please be selling. Please be selling. Please, oh please be willing to sell. Like, seriously, please. Oh, please just sell it to me. God, just let me buy it. I don't care how much it is. I'll pay. I'll pay as much as you need. However much it is, I'll pay. Just please, please, please. Yes! Oh, thank you! Thank you so much! Okay, the Treaty of Laredo. We have received word through the Ministry of Human Relations that the Republic of Rio Grande has accepted our deal to purchase their Texas land. Woo! Though it will cost us immediately to buy it, and we've agreed to trade away any Mexican lands we happen to own, we may have just prevented a war between Rio and Texas. It will take time to integrate the new states formally into our union. It will not be easy. At least we could do so knowing that Texan blood will not have to spill between fellow democracies over the increasingly popular ideals of Texan nationalism. We've also received word that Todd Haxer has taken the opportunity to split with the Texan Arms Association, remain in Gloria as a contractor, so that's a loss. But again, it could have been worse. Oh, wow, we have the money for it as well. There goes our entire money supply, but you know, I don't care. It works, it works. Take it, take my entire money supply, I don't care. Oh, and I got this land too. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, thank you so much. You are a true friend. Can you leave their pact, though? This is where I betray them. No, no. I could just bypass through this way and just never... Wait, but I'd rather do a treaty with them. The Treaty of Laredo. While there were a handful of war hawks in our unity calling for a war with Rio over their continued occupation of the Texas Strip, cooler heads prevailed. An expensive purchase was made instead. Gloria isn't exactly happy about the shotgun diplomacy, but given it's now freed up their attention to focus exclusively on Mexico with an ally in Texas, their people and politicians are quickly realizing how much simpler their world has gotten. I don't know about that. If they aren't willing to work with us, they're gonna end up just causing themselves more issue with themselves being allied to them and them selling land to their pretty much their Texan rival. But we do have very friendly relations now. I'm hoping they just join our alliance instead. Like, I'd love for them to be like, you know what, F you, and just leave the alliance and join mine. Like, I'd accept them in a heartbeat. 100%. Like, join my alliance. I'll accept you immediately. I'd love for you to do it. Oh, new lands. Oh, that just feels good. I'll core it up eventually. Our trade node, TAA estate, has finally thrown off its economic downturn and commerce returned to the neglected region. The expected income from taxes to rise as well. Woo! Buying guns. The Texan Arms Association, despite losing Todd Howitzer as their head, remained a powerful economic and cultural force in the cities bordering the Rio Grande. If we want to fully integrate their people into our unity, it wouldn't hurt to make a special order of refurbished pre-war experimental rifles to line their pockets and armor new recruits. Let's see how much for 1,000 plasma pistols. Most of our money supply, but you know, worth it, you know? Even if we're mostly using, hammers and we're about to, get some powered weaponry of that type. It's, you know, we might as well have some guns. Welcoming new citizens. Though many citizens of the Texas territory still consider themselves more closely aligned with Rio than Austin, many are coming to realize that the practical differences between our nations are few and far between. We're a bit meaner and a bit greener, but our election systems aren't too far apart from what they're used to, and all the hardliners have already left. Convincing Gloria that trying to retake it would be a lost cause. The ex-TAA territories are now firmly and finally Texas lands again. Woo! I mean, honestly, finally, it seems like a little bit overkill. Like, it honestly didn't take very long. Oh, I can do stuff. Man, this nation doesn't feel like one no normies would make any sense for. Like, no, I'm not switching over to no normies. That just doesn't make sense for this nation at all. In any way. Cores all own states. All of the following must be true. Oh, not that. Yeah, that. Well, apparently I misspelled it. Oh, pff, okay, it's just spelled like brown. Okay. I see. And San Antonio. I see what I need to own. Ugh. They're still allied. Well, the good news that we have in comparison to last time. They don't have their puppet. There's one less threat. I have more territory. I'm stronger. And they're at war with a foreign power. So this should be easier than the last time. Let's see. Okay, let's try going this way. So we didn't do ultimatum for Todd because we couldn't. While we're not quite sure how it happened, the Texas Arms Association has recently independent from the Republic of Rio Grande. Todd Howitzer surely must be able to appreciate how precarious the situation is. We can lean on this. He's a businessman looking for business, so we're willing to pay out the nose if he joins us peacefully. Otherwise, we'll take our business to him by force. Null and void. The Texan Arms Association has some of the best guns on the side of the Mississippi, and now we're at war with them. Well, we've had harder fights before, and this time it'll burn the contracts that run in the insane contractory society. Pull the rest of the guns out of the old Attilas army supplies. We're gonna need them if we intend to push the Master Gunsmith back to the Rio Grande. Burgers together. Despite the whole ordeal we went through, Todd Hauser has proved he's a pragmatic man, willing to work with whoever offers the most payment. Over a burger and shake, Keats was able to hammer out the agreement with him to help the contractual society in exchange for a fuel pardon for himself and anyone else he wanted pardon. He's even willing to join our government as an arms advisor, but he has to get his affairs in order first. We also didn't do the tragic war. If we're entirely honest with ourselves, we didn't want this war. Texas must be united in the wake of our decision to postpone joining the Provisional Republic of Texas. We've taken it upon ourselves to set about bringing Southern Texas under one banner, but fighting the Rio, they've never done us any harm. And it's tragic this war had to happen in the first place. Maybe this was a mistake. And then we didn't do plea for peace. Look, we're really not in the mood to conquer the Republic of Rio Grande. Our unity is determined to bring Texas to heel, but Gloria isn't Texas, and we don't intend to take the territory for our own, even if we could. Rio's got some nice folks, and it'd be a shame to ruin everything between us just for what essentially amounts to a border dispute. Let's stop the offense here and send a message to Gloria, asking for peace. And we're not doing integrate the merchants. Despite all the fighting, we've finally secured our grasp on the strip of South Texan land, firmly owned by the Texas Arms Association, and though it took some clever wordsmanship, Gloria has been pacified, and the TAA has renounced its former claims of statehood, even agreeing to work with our unity's industry. Todd Hauser himself was wrapped up in his business and land management, instead taking up a hobby of harassing our weapons manufacturers by checking in with them to tell them all reasons they're making bad guns. Amazing. And we're also, because Santa Ana doesn't exist, we're not going to get to go this path. Santa Ana, a Mexican robot and one of Toltec's sons, has recently overcome the Alamo chapter in a vicious series of battles through the narrow coast that firmly controlled. I wish that happened this run. Oh, I wish they would have won. The issue of the people has already been settled. Most of the former Alamo Brotherhood members sought and were granted refugee in Dallas. Though their status remains up in the air, the land, however, is of great concern to us. If Santa Ana isn't willing to give Texas its land back, we'll just have to fight him for it. And then we can't do, while the former lands of the Alamo chapter have historically belonged to the Texas Brotherhood, I'm sure they wouldn't mind us hanging on to them for a little while. We are the ones who had to go to all that effort to get in the first place, after all. The newly acquired territories have the benefit of having a lot of useful materials lying around. When the Alamo chapter was around, don't mind if we do a little scrapping, thank you very much. We're also not doing Threaten Pecos, because they didn't exist at the time, though I now own their land, so. While Pecos colony has tried their best to maintain their independence from legionaries, Republicans, and Texans alike, times are changing, and their time has come. We can offer them a chance to join us peacefully now, and if we do so, we'll compensate their people greatly for it. If not, we won't try to strong-arm them for now, but we can't promise we won't be back someday. And we're also not doing, now that Pecos Colony has integrated into Unity, some of our own citizens are starting to take a look at their more nomadic rancher lifestyle and have concluded it might suit them better than city life. As a result, a handful of humans and mutants have uprooted themselves and moved to Pecos to join these roaming caravans. While this doesn't mean much for us now, if we ever go to war again, the caravan supplies might become useful in a pinch. And now we're doing the momentous issues. In your hands, my dissatisfied fellow countrymen, are not in mine, is the momentous issue of civil war. The government will not assail you. You can have no conflict without being yourselves the aggressors. These words were once spoken in the old United States, warning rebels of the coast of the rebellion. Now, as our former comrades in the Texas Economic Union call for retaliation for our insults, Keats has spoken those same words, except most of them don't exist. Actually, no. I wish I could, but I know there's a good chance we're gonna have to fight each other at some point. I truly wish I could just trade with you and be like, yeah, let's be friendly, allies forever. sadly, I don't think that's going to be the case. Sorry. But I think this is a good time to go ahead and end this episode. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace!